channel 121 and on your multi TV digital and pay unya live on our live stream so around the world on Facebook and pay unya ma yenda munyina no ase for joining us and pay na. It looks as if said the speed at which President John Dramani Mahama taking certain decisions, there is no time to waste at all. And we'll bring you up to speed with the latest. I mean, and Yamani be an hour there was a national thanks prayer and then Thanksgiving and then prayer service. A course so the University of Professional Studies and we'll bring you more details on that development. Na yenewo ede ho enkomo se ye ka say and na what you know every year your man His Excellency John Dramani Mahama ashe nipa nwotwe womo ehwe womo nkwa ewo afi 2020 and afi 2024 abato ayeto ye ne mo no IGP Oreko for Dampare entimi enyemo ehwehwemu mapa the terms of reference no ye bekenkan ni nyina no e de amount na afi watimi eho de ekoso se ye kasen so anopai ade se the appointment committee in Ghana's parliament, led by the first deputy speaker of parliament, Ebetanase, na afeo mampeyin, President Mahama, ne first initial nominees, vetin ninyina no ashasiye, na chairman of the appointment committee, aka hremo say there is no time to waste a brand new hokra enti committee etinase anopei aircon na womo expect say so womo tinase akosi anadwo dasuom na ene nipa miensa omampanyin edin kan abo womo edin no womo toto omo ano na afi womo hwese baabi a womo kwakoda akoye omo adwuma sa soafo no in fact womo wonim dia mapa ayesese yedimi ede omo kɔ hɔ na yebedi eno ho enkomo but minority akase vetina eshase ene it will not be business as usual enti wa wo ye nominee ana wa ya bodin se be ye minister bia no in fact o ba aboabo ho ye pa esanse vetina ebekoso anopei ekono enye vetina ebeye de tetete SCC ne bia ebeye 12 na a lot of questions and so ana womo ebetimi ebisa just to demand for the right answers for the nation enti and also ewo ho and many more coming up and na yenewo ede ho enkomo enti fa wadwen training nyina no ebra 0550567929 0550567929 fabra na yenkenkan ni nyina no emfama me de Kwame Appiah Kubi Mr. Speaker. I'm highly grateful and so say wetimi ede wa fidie no atwa we are live on Aseda TV. So much grateful say across the country baby anembia no wunya yejumedie ewo Maakye eso. I'm grateful for your time. Now yebekai the letter omampanyin atro ede akwakoma the IGP indicating say ene SSA womo ehwe na investigation mapa etimi ekoso esanse nipa bia ehwe womo nkwa in the 2020 and the just ended 2024 election esene fata se ene womo betimi aye nhwehwemu mapa. There is also another letter omampanyin aso ye na no atro about the sale of state lands ahodo ni nyina no yebede ho enkomo anopei ministries nso from 30 to 23 omampanyin ate so and those are some of the measures are so far omampanyin atena ye no aye in the last few days omampanyin John Dramani Mahama eba into office enti yedini nyina no ede bebro surely na just to remind ourselves and it is expected say Ora Kesela Toba forcing minister in charge of finance designate Adopay he will be appearing before the appointment committee na afe wako for vetting Sansoso and the Honorable John Abdullahi Jinapo and afe the Honorable Dominic Ayini and so expected say and womo betimi appear before the appointment committee na afi womo timi ahwese vetting no ni nyina no ebetimi akoso but ma yenko na yentie omampanyin emra the reason tia ene ohia say investigation ebekoso about the death of some 8 people one more extra one more in the 2020 and they just ended 2024 general elections ye call ye ma yenti na yamra.
Even though this election passed on peacefully, we must recognize that a few of our citizens lost their lives. My understanding is almost 5 of our citizens were killed in the process of the election. This is not the first time. In 2020, we know that 8 of our citizens were killed. If these continue and justice is not served, then what it does is it breeds impunity. And that's why, as a party, we have said that we must investigate and find out what led to these killings so that we can take action so that they don't happen again. So I've asked my secretary, executive secretary, to write to the IGP to give us a report on the status of investigations into these killings. Justice must be done, and we also will ask the Attorney General when he takes office to determine fair and adequate compensation for the families of those who have lost their lives.
And that is the President, John Dramani Mahama, speaking in that effect, saying, "Say, eho akwakohia say yetimi eyesa entwehwebo no mame kwa homane so na many security expert Colonel Festus Abuaje any enkomo Colonel Ochemen card pay Maakye happy new year so
yo yes here from Mr. Speaker mejo so when we TFO
for Joe, so be answer mejo so I don't pay your das papa say waje ya so enti yedi kan menim say watie omampanyin ne aye boy ye na afin so krata the secretary etimi a issue about the investigation all calling about some 8 persons one more extra one more in the 2020 and 2024 general elections ye call ye this particular directive no is it in the right direction?
Mama na wasibio the kuro muni say senka ye democracy a ye kan ho asem senka ye adwuma sene senka ya nka so mampani kratai nka ho hia ko emra no nsem ehie ise we ye fa nipa nkwa bronisi fundamental human rights anipa nwotwe ahwere wo nkwa madwen kwa em so say the 2020 voter registration ne kan ho anipa mienu ehwere wo nkwa na afra say die nipa nsia nti nipa dunsia ewu oman e friend say democratic na aban no enwini se ehun hia se obebo amanfo amane se kwan ben na mefa so a meye hwehwemu na wo ye hwehwemu mfa wo ye hwehwemu nyina bronisi na ma updates wo ye wia na ebesie no so se odi to amanfo ani senka sa ne ye ne dia nka krate ye bede dwa last week nka hu hia na no kuro mu ni se madwiem se efiri be 2018 abandada no na we broni se me na mesi madwem abandada no ye se ompe bibia be ti se be ma na ye unpopular begu ni ho fi begu n'animu ase efiri 2018 nhihye bi a friend say criminal or crime statistics and democracy nyina ye uko internet to see now Google South Africa crime statistics 2024 ubehunu figures no ho stafi etwemu o my friend in South Africa in samoni ebe mu ye say ewudi ahodo ye say oh na no na bua ban no emma wogina ne na so eye nhihye betumi abrɛ na uko America the same thing if 2018 Ghana crime statistics emetoja sorry madwiem za ban na chese wakata IGP ano ana say police ano say mamu fema so ni amitrem
yes
nti we no ka ho nipa wotwe e kan ho asem e no ka ho because police for no di ho pa no mo ye near constitution any omo professional standards says mo ya nkomo ade baba betuja last time I'm say nyomo ebo hu de retreat for cry be June 2021 say omo achi nipa be enai bi di omo akọ ye do omo court say kwadu be na de bo omo say hwehwemu be na judge ne ye sa asutwe be na judge ne de mai be si na obi ani to na obu oman ni sa oman manu kwa ehu hia wo na ututo ubrebre democracy na si jabanda da no anye niye fa human rights pa ho de abanda da no anye yiye kura nti we awa bem se be bia na ni kire na ban fufuri sa na ese ya de no to nchen ya krata no uhwese nia Dr. Callistus Mahama.
Yes.
Uhwe kwan yo fa sutre na bro ni si wa ya assumptions. So hwehwe mu de bi amoaye. Ba ban ni se mo hwehwe mu ana se mo ye. Nti se mo ye dia enie mo fa ehun krata mra ni ehu ba bi a hwehwe mu no ejina. But basic assumption is aban no kura nim goye nyina wo omayim say say omo abaya aban omo nim say BBS enti ayeti say fidi ayesu ama police for no say why nhihye mu ni dia fabra na say why now the bar eno kura nkyerese why ade kyerese in a democracy no ye wie ya ese odi tudwa the other now ye wie ya unfen tudwa now ye wie no fa omo ese twon mu aso go nipa wo de look in a democracy no police for kum nipa se wo kum nipa in fact what to you no crime ese investigations ya TV and my America da pepe police for to you pe ese omo investigations e bi omo ye ni atwe police for no bi asensen omo ye wia baby esesa asutwe no edie no mo de ato ndi se obeyi na no IGP beyi na no se oyaye enu nkyerese omo abomodin ena so omo ye nso a ene ehu asem de se onim ze doso ana mebwa
yes
ba ye kan me ka IGP sebi o IGP na yo no ye foot soldier CID. The Director General CID no abanda da na penso wono necessary of na sanjishe no ba na mu IGP no na overall we are responsible nti ono ba ko Director General zen mu na moya na wohimfa munfa report na make am be bisa report ni dey 1 page pe nyaka ni nyina ya supplementary documents assuming enya fe na ba twere ni tintin on amjere and the reports my no a supplementary evidence 1 page na ban reso yaye if you share we mu na case number 1 case number 2 case number 3 say ya huni pa say anyway kwan bi on be fa so on be twere no aban saka dem refufu we mu esa ban de betudwa. Okay.
Yes, but the situation where Omampenyi, I mean, require investigation into all these happenings. Now, Yebeka said, with terms of reference, as a police, is being directed toward a certain line because we shared Dr. Callistus Mahama areas Omampenyi person. I mean, investigations, cover. Is that really right in terms of security sense? Because they believe saying common professionals then reports about recommendations bana bibio ho na omampanyin pese omo ye ka ho ananka ye but we no as a munni modwuma ye kire mu kwan amomfa so nye modwuma ana ente sa
You see, asɛm a yɛka ɛnyɛ kantamanto edwa na ɛhyeɛ no ho asɛm yɛka a ɛhye ya pɛ na bɛn gyina ne nan so sɛ polisifoɔ mu yɛsɛ yɛka nsɛm a na asɛm a ɛdi mfie nwɔtwe anaa meboa
yes
di mfie nwɔtwe ne deɛ bro ne sɛ the direction of responsibility mfie nwɔtwe deɛ investigations bi a we bi anka se we na wonwie kura wonwie ya in managerial terms no emra no na obo amane so mi go so madru say oni amiche
okay
inti entumi emfa subo no mo aban a wa be sa de na o tre sakrata go de bia mi ka se yemu bi ka se look constitution ahihye the chapter 211 or say no 210 the armed forces then say 211 or so near police if wasn't being in our constitution asa near police service regulations into BBC baby o mayor bejina SEO yes president so me yenhwehwem ehun hia asem ni si ya pe so we yokwa ukuta mandate we see idea ukuta mandate we financial intelligence center ukuta mandate tony amcheno we NIB national investigation ukuta mandate we shraja dey different so be there so dey na say subo no bar na say petition na bibisa intie ya ni atena ho ba yen na make na ya banda da no na political influence any politicization ti gise wakosre no kwan ana ono aka say ye ansa no aye but ama ye ho mo ye democratic no yenye ni sa onti me fa subo bia mo Dr. Callistus Mahama zade no atwere brofo ne sa because fie nwotwi ni nka fi aye dwuma na wie ne hu ne esi
okay
na si aye wie na bandi white paper by it say ni aya waso west ogon de na orabishi na the secretary Professor Bochisio be 3/4 sense 2/3 o hanti temu mienu and now hanti temu enye uche o hanumu miensa emu mienu de amana amfa anya dwuma ana se o che o ha mu nan ya emu miensa amfa anya se sa ne ba dia nanka ban ne ne wo twaka na we de bibiensi obieni niesi so namje
yes
makasa no so ordinarily nka ban betumi afre Dr. Callistus obetumi atonsa afre IDP so omra Flagstaff also na omechre aban
ejuma
mo
okay
that's another approach you see but democracy ni fa ba ko ni say bibia broni say a public interest no ese ye pefe nipa wotwe ewu a enye sumase ne ka nwase disaban na fasa akwan no so otu nsa fra IGP no abana o si okay nya o kan mate in the court na ko fa report no bra no dia betudwa from the start no atwere brofo no say na make as I say wo suma fidie wo fa benkuma wan hwe ebeyu wo fa nifa wan hwe ebeyu wan ko fa asade no bai e abanda da no na IGP no options ye nyina ekoye adwuma no enye nsem a ye mpanimfo eka kire ni nyina nana eto asomu ebi o wa yi ni so semre wo radio so na nka make media occasions a ebetuma ma me order no maka say order no menye just a lawful order and a unlawful order
okay
it's all a professional organization na same CSC constitution say wo ho kwan so ye investigate na sa ban for say menya utumi ka kira ban say wonye na sa ban no pa ti say IGP Mr. Apietu Asante say dey no oyeyo say dey no oyeyo aban kro amona mane fie yiwadi opon yo ko efie ade achi say ni police car GP1 ekofa no ba ama and son was a unity. So I'm sure.
Yes.
Tabano for between us is a question of moral courage. Mean to me, can say be a son a buy, but one some kind of thing, passing film or trick. Police for investigations, so when be any motion. Nipa na free monso. One who bonus victims. One more brabo, one more year, one more man, Nina Basa.
Okay.
The Abbey can say, young names are banned to say. Attorney General now or ban. Or Betina Kunyano so pay victim, the other victim. So, near man, you can say, quite ben a buyer. Sandy Pano, your bomb to momu, your bomb. Jomo, dear. A quite ben a band of Befaswa or Bebois or more catching. No survivors, no. A band to one more. Into afternoon in our bench, which is in the right direction. Near Queen, BBS my penny being to no one train. Say, me train, say, President, about the mommy directives. Show constitution, now show service regulations. Nothing it be out to one more. That's a ban on pennies. I will go anymore. What do you want? That change a back of some history now. We let that know. Professor Chuni, Professor Jamponum, maybe a normal befa.
Very well, interesting, Colonel. But before I let you go, no, Andra, Makinka with new policy brief, sabbatical, watch your counting the stars, the paradox of sporadic military rank inflation in Ghana's democracy. Now, there were a lot of insights to Niema Ekosu within the military high command and the recent promotions of Ampanyina na Adodanko Ekufuado ansana ofra baimo in the military. Ne tofa bomono and they say na opesa wo twe Ghana for adwen edisi so.
Yo me da she say asemo bi say hu hia. Now we can say a paper na kasa title me try no extended policy brief.
Yes.
The policy brief normally we try say pages kata be 9. We be a substantive kata ni see no. Name say through page 9.
Okay. And
sana with the references. Now with the supplementary list of CDSs ne the free Kwame Appiah Kubi na wo. Sene be ho ka krata na be hwe table na. Ubo say free independence be nyina CDSs wo mo ranks no ejina say be be a bruce no. E general champion ebinum si o general kra no general kra no nye 4-star.
Okay.
A Krifa no nye 4-star. Fred Kufu no nye 4-star. Omu nyina 3 stars. Nipa mienu pe in the history of Ghana. Na 4 stars. Ni odi kan ni kutu champion. No ye Kendall. Inti obe sems obe mampeno zimianga sa mabom abasu. My 4-star. Then they say clearly not political.
Okay.
But because 4-star near the Mawa, you share first of all history. I'm not saying amateur. Niema Hurupi na or maybe or what we have no CDS, 4-star, maybe a 3-star, maybe a 2-star. Inti Ekufu president Kutumani who 4-star no. Your history na interest. They are clear politics. Nina so nyina ni ze me mampani inti commander in chief no umami and 9 at the bomber betia if you obi amabio ni ebesi 2000 no tie nyina ni se sata actually see March 2000 it na the late former president Jerry John Rawlings
yes
Nimre Ebesu and also far the crater and service commanders, Army, Navy, Air Force. Omunina normally 2-star major generals or more 3-star lieutenant generals. Name or Mayan Nanka Jinin say CBS no ye general Kachiano already on ye 3-star lieutenant general. Gono so Tejano. no be no 4-star omampani na anya ni sa ko nsem pi o wa betumi aka na ekiri na fe chief of staff or general headquarters bi pani ba ko anam ne ne adwuma o GM wanya ne ba bi ko ye friend no General Charles Okan one no brigadier general chief of staff and omampani Rollins no major general o de anya nto no omukoto aba 7 December 2000 yina nimze NDC elunzi
yes
inti omampani kufo bae no ena san kofo ni na omo kofi say general kafia say service commanders say general kan say omo nyina kofi so omo mraso so omo mrenso omo nyina kofi no omo kofi no na say ade na hihya besi ba bia na gina nti omampani kufo no wa man service commander bia lieutenant general da mfie ngotwe
okay
so na yam ena CBS ni bia odaso lieutenant general ne mom se na matro cartel no omampani kufo oye free akonwa no so 2008 won no to ma promotions NLSP omo brigadier generals oh eri dem kai pi opini di esre madwini se sadia be ni den badata na mini aminum ni mafrim
okay
na mi chenzo promotion di ye bo abaswa na wo ko tie free wa e ho asem eden inti se ofa kwan paso so onfa kwan paso wa ma kennels no 1-star bi moma na entina hono na mom baby o si omunko enko defense advisors or him fine baby o kra ni embassy hono assume any the appointments and postings mutumi sanechi ina ban ni ye ni sa ini eti ho besi ne 2024 akawo nefua makoma afo so ube fra konya no so na anya krata akra na otwere ukojina sona mjere no na sona na se ho no uzio service commanders ni na mabo mabeti so 2-star to 3-star and your friend saying CDS no so 3-star to 4-star ubisa se ni nyina so no hefa ni nyina so ni paper tintin na metwe no di abakosem no twinchen say armed forces be a reorganization restructuring so based on threats you say a threat gina ni Sahel or Burkina Faso Mali Niger ye tisi hono tisenu ni gina so bia ye isise betumi ama armed forces no mu abaya enu na wo ye nyina na ranks na bia peja da sanji ni nyina be kaise na ban dada no catch renzo ya forward operation basis ya say but ukomua sanchi no NCP onam jere NCP nkodru be bia gese ranks no eba gese ranks no abetre no has have outpaced the structure, the capabilities of the Ghana Armed Forces. Ya dodo any akondie to say navy for we share pattern more. Our capacity now about 20% of the global average. Ama 145. For more average now. Young Ghana Navy capability age now 20%. Meanwhile, Abana spending 85% financials. Then say sika ban di shemu nyina defense budget no. Etua salaries. Na moment twa akode betumi ama Ghana forces na nya ahoden betumi di akọ. Assuming say kono ba.
Okay.
Because ani nyina no. Nti omu nyina ni say promotions na ba na political.
Okay. Na kind of before I will be you know the wakani nyina no ye more technical and then issues are ACC ewo but before the promotions of Bampenyin and Ado a year you know I mean the highest rank no we know say nanke ye 3-star 4-star yeah abe you know what does it mean ana afei one more ya promote one more from 2-star the almost 3-star and then from 1 echo 2 no. I mean significance within the army itself anything.
Oh, a moral on the one part. But make sure Katan we be said this senior officers need your mother so human. Now almost so more free more. This year I can say or more or movie 2 stars.
Yes.
Will be a 1 star. One more train say Bruni see trickle down. See a pegas road there. And your more DHN, young Pega Bejomoka, only am German. Question is here, Bisani said, because Kratana Ghana Armed Forces General Headquarters, X-ray, written by Air Commodore Joseph Murafinidin, one a year, a friend, the military secretary.
Okay.
Nipa 9 open or Mudin also. Question is, are there no man penino? One man or more dear training in our 1 page or muka cracker. Because last year in an one officer pet Brigadier General Jiman Prempe Charles, Madamfu, or no one a Major General. Do the paper now who say pyramid no? It's required tight. So I'm German.
Yes.
Pokuta 252 kennels are Munina Brigadier. Brigadiers is only 105. Into where they are 252 minus 105. And that's what we see for Momukofi. The white tight. And so now 105 brigadiers now. Uber drew Major Generals or no. And so almost 15. Or whatever the number is. And so now if no one could drew 3-star for no. Almost your friends 3 or so. And so almost I could do CDS General no 1. So I'm sure. Inti a home suspension say ye kan ina sika 7 year.
And no soon can be baby sound and say
we no any home brony see a friend of perquisites of office.
Okay.
Oh home nkika home office wo mo ejina ho ne nkika ho cars ahodo as say the man for friends and domestic or family duties ne home SMP. Oh, but who can't paper now say defense budget last year a drop by 0.4%. GDP no so the BH say offer economies number culture. The Ghana sika 7 year. That's sika 7 year now she says can no share armed forces more. And you say capabilities and na akudie na woto na nya no ho asem ne ye ranks. Ranks in Swanya near the co. For mature people, and say, be a Yakubia. Then armed forces, ya then also. By then was ranks in the professionalism.
Okay.
Nikio Winan say, Amanda Diako promotions not the political promotions. And what back was any man penny that one young baby called Rollins, the arbitrary, any Yaman penny that a friend Kutu a champon. Nanye sa necessary yeno.
Okay.
So I'm sure. Esa bano etina internal recommendations match. Na nukure so mu ni se. Se ma 4-star ni ma 3-star. Na no ani se president bi akofa pen paper no atra. Nye ni kwan no.
Okay.
The one level no it say ministers. Ministers wo call your friend vetting, them my friend assessment. Until like America who cause our position now? Who call Congress? Emma Congress from no be say this one no here's a what's me here be yo 2-star, 3-star, 4-star, especially 3-star and 4-star.
Yes.
Who could have professional qualities, any capability on them jam.
Yeah.
Who show any old bank. Going baby I could draw no. I should be pa may security na the shawunsa. The mawa ubetumi aye yeni sa hihye no bibia ye ti say if free armed forces na ko armed forces council na ko cabinet the recommendation back on is ye ko enimu e si e hye fofo so sa level na nsa na obema ho ministry no e say upie baby ni nyinaa nso ni parliament defense committee.
Okay.
Amateur say pekura yen another subcommittee or specific FSR promotions no.
Okay.
Na nko ese bia ban no e the politics no ogina so e no mo.
Okay.
Na ni nyinaa mededwa. Na manfo hu say empanifo omoba omuni. Oh. Because omo we say omo ye competent na omo ye call. Ba we ni sanzo o de kasa betu omo.
Yeah.
Because nkrofo di hu nkomo. E barras eni omo e ko retirement eni omo hifanye faza. Soja kyokitua anope ya tani ba kun o soja no ma bebi samse sa numbers ne wo mu no enfa na menyano of course me to me sure say yi kanaway ana brigadier we ana so onem dem ba soja for amodin be big na here between 20,000 and 30,000.
I see.
If you be en ko to Malawi say o Malawi ekuta 17,000 15,000 o mu yusu lieutenant yes ani no correlation near friend correlation capabilities and they correlate with the ranks. So I'm saying and your protocol to send your Minister of Defense no koya. In fact, nina so na promotion nina so any protocol. So moko jemu to say be ECOWAS, the South African Union to say in fact near CDS here 3-star, Nigeria by Nigeria kuta 4-star. Na ezo cho mu crusade esa woni amijeno nti ne yenyo mu nyina 4-star nyina nim speakers yes am ye first ready rank number
edema
ko Nigeria mu 280,000 population here 230 almost 240 million. It is all the soldier don't be a 280,000 ebe tutu e don't be a 30,000 no aka so mu nyina ampani for a general nti mu general.
Okay.
In the Minister of Defense, no be an amount of fire now. One can structure no kura ho asem. And one say protocol reasons. Yema mpanimfo no enkosro. No one penin say na making. When ya be bia say ogina show na ho. E ho na odi betudwa. Soja for no kura na eyo mo wa. Enye nsem ni na na e tro no okra. Yeah.
I see.
Consider in see that se paper my no man pedino ejina bedroom customer bo mo abaso. You see what I mean?
Hello, I don't pay my now I say I'm grateful for your time.
Miss me the ACP.
I mean shall. And to kind of first us Abuaje and Menino at the Encomono about a year two major things. The confusion echo so war the armed forces no emo rankings obampanyin promotions by within the Ghana armed forces at the last State of the Nation address President Akufo-Addo emaya ansana ofri akonya so no eno ho nkomo ana yetime edi no ana afeyin so the directive by the president say nkrofo a ehwe wo nkwa in the 2020 and then 2024 general elections ni nyina no IGP any ni team no enye mu nhwehwemu no eka ho bi ana no pe yene ke no etimi ede ho enkombo no your numbers ni 0550567929 0550567929 eno your numbers are ye so ede aye adwuma o de wadwenche ne ba ye beje na yakenkan ni nyina no ede tema food warehouses no enuane e wo ho no mo no yen supply bi farmer schools no na afa no achi no Ora Julius Debra chief of staff so any Charles leadership no any enkobo so very champion temenka good morning empom to Afisha Power
Afisha Power Mr Speaker me hoye pa na wo so want to say
Erade adom ben so be ho ye da twedi ampoase no pay say waje ye so enti de di kan I mean there were issues about ye feeding student senior high school yenim say on the 3rd of January and school no ABA but currently the food shortages any issues are happening no obampanyin amba ho directive now first off DNSS yetimi here to find a very amicable solution going forward said they be asani ma way NCBM.
Speaker, I think, sir, we are in an emergency situation until the president directives is in order. But me mumuti, nanka mejidi say, Charles for Kwan or fast so yeah, first announcement no was wrong. Only say anytime there's been a transition, there's always been a transition team. So
Yes.
that transition team no, is made up of the various sectors of the national economy. Into Ubenya team on education, team on energy, team on say. Until after the inauguration, Charles for no omunimu say there were serious problems ebe affecting or more operations. So far as the reopening and now setting was concerned, they should have taken adequate steps to have met the transition team on education. Now, so that they don't come public and create anxiety amongst the populace. Because what I say.
Yes, but was here, pa.
Number two, one first statement. No more can say sikasembi ni nema biso akikim. All these matters, and I was expecting say they would have been addressed at the transitional teams level. Sikabeng and what had been the mode of payment. Yemfane say ebia electricity. You know, now buying tuano kwan benso. Now otuano quarterly na mona odisika no bramo na makotua. Ana mo de bills come out no motua. You should have sorted all these ones out. And sana wama babu one thing. And like having approached the transitional team, omodi wama sama kotu wama ni muno. Now one adequate response because team you get the incoming administration there and the outgoing administration there. And you could raise issues be betimi I intervene. Oh, adiwe ya ABCD waha ebeso adiwe ya no. And I say wait ye until what can we do in the interim? Said the arrangement na ya no ebe. So for me that is what I found as very problem. Number 3, just after the elections, there may be cause or mine one in certain areas now more buffer stocks, warehouses,
yes.
There be no go. Then you'll be a dear. Nay, near dear Guha, a school for no back of na omode anuama omombeban. In some places across the country, no, the places were ransacked. No matter say who was so real, only Nambia. So it is some of the problems na no. Some are self-inflicted because kasa mana school na edu kubu amam so money no. Kasa we so definitely schools almost have community, no have vicinity, no are more access to food only from those areas, no. Almost anka. And so those are the problems. But I think so the president directive said it's an emergency situation. Charles of Honor didn't know you know. Charles cannot say Mami ye school. They can only plead and request. They can only tell Abain ya hope one and see interior remo so. But you issue a directive say Mama woman now for no Antonio Nembra. You are policy implementers. You are not policy makers.
Okay.
So you catch for say Mama Cranoba and Cranoba or move for Gianni and in Ramla school. Now as a some policy. Policy no so you are bind there. Into those areas now I find them to administratively very wrong. I think so next time no when they are doing things of this nature dealing with government.
Very well. Interesting. And it's in the right direction, but the long-lasting solution, no, as I say, yes, because the NDC promised, go back to the previous year. I mean, processes are not one more so the distributing. And for instance, one more discano Emma schools, no, na schools na ankasa atonuane from the local markets. Now one more to me at the FD a year school more frano. But in this case, we've come to know, sir. I mean, buffer stock, EJJ, Nina, and San Wetimi acquire supply. Now, or best supplier, we know, woman so clear suppliers, no nafi, or musika aqua kem, edu bebia, na at the young farm cornea, dealing no edeba. And I mean, the lasting solution, no, at the necessary. I mean, should we continue to allow the buffer stock and now the reversal of the entire procedure, no, is what will solve this problem entirely? Said the Beya Debiano in Yanebewo school.
Kessben.
So for your Bochamenka. Okay. And Mr. David Oforia Champo, Anna Yaneno Edi and Kobono, 35 minutes after 8. Hi, Kessben. Your number is 055 929 055 929. With the messages no eba your bejack and kind in ano edi amount. Mamin fa asedani be Emma Amagana rice na anope Amagana rice aboa ye papa pampacho ope Ghana moa anunsu ede na eye papa. Eyo original ayemfa bibia emfrem mudia anope Amagana rice and say oma wonsa etimi ekebi se ye di nkomo e wodwaman so babia supermarket ahodo ni nyina no mpacho ope bia to a wonsa ebetimi akebi eno achi no se ope ne dodo mu etu aton ababeye agent anase wholesaler na eno no ababeye business a obe rania Amagana rice de mpacho number 1 Ghanaian made rice a ene odo sika shemu a obenya mfaso bebre na ukita 12,400 and above ene ye tunu dodo mu pa e de mount ma wonso wotimi eton edinya wonfaso anope bo homode na woni Amagana for eni nkobo ne titu mo am pretty restaurant mo am nso mo ye nnuane esi mountain so eton ni nyina no anope akwanya no aba se obeyisu emu papa ebefrefre dom ede abam pacho bra eye enkran ha La Paz ana obehu wo mo office kese no na wachimi ene wo mo ede enkomo every ho 0537 029 464 0537 029 464 and after 0207 6761 97 na when Amagana rice any enkomo anope omo ewo La Paz adjacent the Eco Bank omo ben please container no na when omo edi enkomo every ho but men cop Mr. Oforia Champon subiem na yene no enwie enkomo na mi go so a mi bisa ne say no yemma de previous arrangement ananke de sika no ma schools no na schools na nkasa ko omo local market upper suppliers e be supply nuane no e de ma wo mo ana said the processes are yes buffer stock ana enhwe na afi wo mo ntimi supply nuane ne to schools no eno ana be ma the lasting solution ana mzo for ya champion.
Well, Mr. Speaker, President said about constitute forum on education to look at free SHS in its present state and how to improve it. I think so until that is done and new recommendations have come, the status quo remains. So, arrangement now what to see and say policy say there should be a certain buffer stock our supply our schools.
Yes.
Until that ban issue directive say gusa process no. Nobody can say so if it falls within their own educational arrangements. He said then they should announce it quickly. So they who said this is a decision because it is a part of their manifesto. That's not a mobile idea and immediate and munguno na mumpesika no fama headmaster for no more uncle so that we can hold them accountable for failures in feeding and in ensuring say there's effective teaching and learning in the schools. But until say that particular decision is made there, the status quo has remained. The policy has not changed. 3SHF, as inherited by the present administration, has not changed. And there are more steps that they need to take. But I think say the call for a review and a possible national debate on free SHS as to how to improve it is in the right direction.
Okay, it's in the right direction. But the president promised as part of a year, the first 120 days in office, as part of the achievement Obepese Obenyano to, initiate the dialogue, national dialogue on education. How quick should it come? Said the Abeya Obiano, Ebetimi, the directive and then the forwardness of this particular policy.
I was saying intent to be a crown and speaker, I shall see you. See a crown, I shall see. So it must be as early as possible. And he said the first quarter, this thing has not been done. Okay. So it must be as early as possible. No one transit, no one who say these are the steps we need to take to ensure say policy no ya sakra mukakra say ni ekono and I say ya yen say now I'm muni nyina because yes sir e be create anxiety amongst parents in the country. And they will say 10.
Very well. I don't pay my meno as for your champo. I'm grateful for your time.
Yeah, speaker, Miss Medawase.
Beba beji mi bro nya de. Wa se da ko dodge but you dey beba beji. But that's the reason for your jump for a educationist and I don't permit no at the end. Come on, bringing us exactly 40 after 8 on the dot. A higher Kessben 92.9 Kessben TV live across the country. Say, oh, you should DSTV, channel 364, Go TV, channel 121, and I feel on your multi TV digibox. I don't pay unya live on a Kessben TV on a Seda TV on digital. I don't pay we are live and we are much grateful for Wadaje any what time and pay or they are joining Maakye Jumedie and what Kessben Media. So my main fast that be Emma Chocho Industries na Omada Roma ana Abuaye Chocho products no egumwa hodo pi mpacho oye ba oye bema oye panyin oye abofra Chocho products ne de obia etimi eyisubi eye busuan chemfa oye ba utrinwi no onunumu ana etete dandruff aje utrinwi ni nyina no e de aboso a anopei ubehia se ubeyisu eye Chocho shampoo hair food and afi ne conditioner na wo de asiesie woti no anytime bi a wo visit o salon ama o hairdresser no asiesie woti no ka kire ne se onfa eye Chocho conditioner shampoo no and afi hair food no enye woti no ema eye purely natural aye de herbal ana aye ene se uyusu a eboa ma otrenwe no enyi ye na esanso esi nanimonyam mo ebiem Chocho bam pacho waposo eye wo ya ene ya wakọ adwuman ebedre numra bedru fie no na honam nyina eye wo ya obi wo hono ma oye exercise okọ gym bape ontimi nya de ho hwe sebe sapokra no pagya ne nsa de adware n'achi a na eye ne ya ye pam pacho ni nyina Chocho bam no ebeye magic no edi amount tibi na fastrastra go joint ahodo a eye oya ni nyina ebe relieve of the pain na echimi aboa ma wonso watimi atoa so aye wadwuma esese woye Chocho foot and hand cream kwacho eno ene papa no ene dipa bebre na no ewo hono ma adwuma a wo mo yenti wo mo nsemo eden odu bedwam na wo chia aya na akwakoye problem kese pa but onyo fort na edu bia na ofere ene yusu Chocho hand cream na fastrastra wonsem ebema wonsem ago kama na fe wodru nipemu a watimi enya confidence no e de achia oye bema oye oba but o hyempabo na center bem na ntema propro ana e how Chocho foot cream no ebeyi sa smell ni nyina no e de free ho na afe ateki eye na ntema propro ni nyina no out na timi aboa ma wonso uyi socks ne to ho no ma at least nkwala no enya somdwe ewo fie Chocho tea ewo dwamai so eye correct pa for your morning breakfast and beverage I will be taking and then to be very active for the day's work ne de ho be hia pa say adope bia odi Chocho tea ebe your beverage I will be taking say o pese wo fa no as normal beverage and our breakfast will be timi at the milk ene esitre no e de afra se wo pese wo fa ne se dro na eye omo adwuma yie na eboa o madamu ni nyina no o remain active while the week na watimi aye wadwuma de ampacho emfa bibia no enka ho yusu sa na ebeboa wo yie Chocho product no edoso egumu ahodo pi anopei ko supermarket ahodo ni nyina malls ahodo ni nyina de wo pe bia odru ho a obenya bi Chocho herbal fresh seminar ehwam ye pa wo de dware a eyi rushes ni nyina no e de free ho e de ma anopei ma wonsa enka Chocho ene ma yi bi na ebeboa wo yie pacho open dudu mo atu se obeye genta ton bi a wo mo e wo suhum ofra wo mo a womo be packaging nice na afi cars no e de aba on delivery enti ebeboa wo yie numbers no e 055 181 5388 055 181 5388 and after 0244 7273 48 0244 7273 48 and after 0504 555535 0504 555535 na woni eye Chocho industry any enkomo anopei na womo ebeje so promo product ne de pacho onsa ka bia ebeboa na wankasa obedi adanse bread hawa dwen sciatica ana etete wo anxiety etete wo ye pa ene wo ye adwuma kakra bia what a bre o digestive system no enye adwuma ye ama wo didi a intimate digest na show so why check why basa anopay ni nyina no yo hawa odi wani echemu ewo ODK Herbal Clinic pacho wo mutu ase prekope e de maw pacho wotie me o asthma stroke ana ɛha wadwen infections ahodo aba beso wo so ene ete wo so woko a enko onum aduro bi a entime enko abeye chronic a ete wo so a anopai fa wani kyeremu ɛwɔ ODK Herbal Clinic na womuntu ase emfamo na enura ODK fo yi so no ɛyɛ purely natural 100% herbs ana womo edibetu ase ede amount se ubankran ha womo ɛwɔ Maakye Hills womo ɛyɛ adjacent ɛyɛ Akawe Hospital no okɔ Kumasi a womo ɛwɔ Breman West womo ne Shell filling station no edi enhwɛ ni mo anopai frɛ ɛyɛ ODK Herbal Clinic for on 0505 518104 0505 518104 and after 0544 29758 0244 929758 na afi what to be any ODK Herbal Center and a clinic for Eddie and Komo Ebeboa Uye. That's right.
Carry on to respect. Mr. Kessintina Maya Kako me shutting 6 months. You don't know more radio, so me come papa the near Aquawi. Mr. Kessin, I'm a general. Mr. Kessin Pesadino. Me say come shutting 6 months. Come shutting 6 months. You don't insult my father like that. Jamaica, what I say? Etina yaka ya no atum no. I'm telling you.
You can hear Juma, Coco, Engineer Juma Maza. Go engineer Juma no pay Mamma Yesa.
So, Kwame Appiah Kubi.
Medasi.
Fatal.
Yeah, by issues, so, but messages in the braba. Mamen Kai Kakra, Emma, na Afe Yantoaso. Maakye is my favorite, and I like the Kessben radio so much. God help our country and help Mr. Speaker and his team. Anthony, thank you for a message. You know, Homejibre was Seshi, Ehona do a free Abba. Thank you. Well, good morning, Mr. Speaker. Tell the NPP members that next time, if they get an opportunity again to be in government, they should serve Ghanaians with respect and not arrogance. I'm Kennedy from Official. Kennedy, thank you for a message. You know, good morning, Mr. Speaker. This fish put president must stop it because junior high school students don't have good food to eat either, especially some of the Asante Mampong schools. Thank you for a message, but I don't really get what content in here. Also, please, as for the free senior high school, President Mahama dare not from Bechem, but I'm here right in Tema. Please, sir, I don't have a job. Kindly help me. May I say. Good morning, Mr. Speaker. Please, I want the oral team to investigate the Prince Cough on sale of colleges of education form. Principals are milking the colleges. They are selling at outrageous prices. Thank you for a message, with the ABBA. Israel Achampo sends this one in. Chief Executive Edema still playing technologies in Asante Mampong. I say, Mr. Speaker, God bless you and bless your team. You guys are doing a wonderful job. Thank you. But your numbers is 0550-567-929. 0550-567-929. And no air numbers are no pay. Yeah, they Juma. Audio messages no at the bar. Yeah, beje I can kind in at the amount. It's 7 to 9. This is Kessben. But we'll take you through in the last few days of President Mahama in office. Some of the few things why any measures are what take. There is also a statement Omampenya yeno atro ede ama the lands commission about state lands womo etunton nyina mamen kan sa statement no emfama quickly na afeyemra the other ones na yeni enkomo emfree eho we say the 10th of January 2025, the Executive Secretary, Lands Commission, the Executive Secretary, directive to halt the sale and processing of state and public lands. I am directed to formally communicate a directive for the immediate cessation of all activities relating to the sale, lease, or processing of transactions involving state and public lands. This directive has been issued to protect and preserve state and public lands for the collective benefit of the citizenry and future generations. As such, all ongoing and pending transactions must be halted without delay to facilitate a comprehensive review of the current framework governing the management of such lands. You are further requested to submit a detailed report of all recent and ongoing transactions concerning states and public lands to this office within 14 days of this communication. Your immediate attention to this matter is required. And this was signed by Dr. Callistus Mahama. And no krata womo etroye edema, the executive secretary for the Lands Commission. And that is the directive from the office of the president. Na maminkai another statement anopen so abano enfabao na afei yento aso eni enkomo na yento aso enko yedim. We statement or say notice of cessation of board membership of statutory boards, corporation and commissions and councils following the president's transition. And no a statement anopeya a free office of the president and so abba na mamin kind the details no amount with in accordance with the Presidential Transition Act 2012 Act 845. All members of statutory boards, corporations, commissions, and councils appointed by the former president or a former minister of state ceased to hold office on 7th January 2025, following the assumption of the office of His Excellency President John Dramani Mahama. This serves as formal notice to all affected members. For the avoidance of doubt, this excludes commissions that are independent constitutional creations. In due course, the affected boards, commissions, councils, and statutory corporations will be reconstituted according to their respective enabling laws. The president takes this opportunity to thank all affected members for their service and wishes them well in their future endeavors. The management of these bodies are directed until further notice to seek clearance from the chief of staff before taking any major decisions. And this was signed by Felix Kwache Ofosu, spokesperson to the president. Enti ene you know abaya dwuma yeku ahodo ni nyina no krata we ye krata anopeya na eba we ye board chairman board ahodo a yatete a wo mo edida da abaya dwuma yeku ahodo ni nyina no ene Felix Ofosu Kwache echemu say on the 7th of January and as our boards ni nyina no adwuma eba na wie ye enti se ye kasei no abadwuma ekwa hodo ni nyina no board bia ne ho obi anya board chairman obi anya board member mu nyina no modwuma eba awieye asat 7th of January yede omampanyi nanado omampanyi John Dramani Mahama facheme AC akonwa so. And then in accordance with law, it is expected say John Dramani Mahama, the president, His Excellency, the due appointment. The managing directors are did that the nyuma yeku ahodo ni nyina no they say free na ekoi no obeye bibia je was seeking clearance as I said otro edema chief of staff and now oko chief of staff na oni ni kodi nkomo about the wo person we ye say we CEO say we director general, deputy director general, acting director general, acting CEO any de keka ho ni nyina no as I say authorization any clearance about the wo person we ye new decisions nyina no as I say, free the office of the chief of staff for EBA and Sana what you may aye. And that is the directive and also an opeyano etime aba. Quite an interesting one. On some of these happenings already you didn't come up about last weekend directive I buy about the investigation of a year 8 people in 2020 and then 2024 at the end of the general elections. What's ye Colonel Festus Abuaje a directive no boards nunyina yeguno. And I mean as quickly as possible, as I said, you're reconstituting all the boards for the statutory corporations, commissions and sana. You say one more ejuma or more yanis obenya board and that. New ministers nebeba appointment committee started vetting no anopay. And it is expected say 3 nominations are a wohono Minister designate for finance, Minister designate for energy, and then the Attorney General and Minister for Justice. And pay appointment committee no ebetena se aveti womo na afi womo hwese womo betimi atake office. And interesting, as a nyema no happen quickly. Bibia no cautious ntentempa. Ministers no ebeba, but ministries na nkasa no ya meji bebre na from 30 ministries. Obampanyin ameji ni nyina ma se ye ka say ministries are ye wono 23. Enti no ye bebo endo so e de amaw na afi wachi bi ho. But nana maminchio emu de hin ba bia wo fa free na yento aso eni enkomo.
Okay. Yeah, Kwame. Yes. President Mahama.
Yeah.
Watch see we need time. But yen kasa asim we say Phantom Kofu Trimi say. Kwame, the researcher President Mahama so person you know. Any bibia no bitimi ayewi.
Okay.
The reset means that ye Ghana institutions bi ane enye adwuma. Enoma bi ane ye bia Kwame ye kwe di si.
Yeah.
To say the Urana Festus Abuaje Eken. My namesake.
Yes.
And maybe I sema no can no maybe and senke ye palm na Kwame ya dane no. You get me? And in all very set so that whoever continues no ebemi enya according to them the Ghana that we all want. Etinya no ma dina no betimi aye. Kwame se wo hwe ni ministers yas me a wo kan ya. Na me ye calculation bi say Sesia ya slash adena manaba 23 ministers.
Yeah.
So the 23 ministers no. We said definitely they'll be having their deputies. So the deputy ministers neba ebeye 46 ministers plus the 16 regional ministers. You get me? So the 16 regional ministers will give you 62, which onyenru baby. Despite say we promising 60 ministers. Kwame.
Yes.
Mene President Mahama emani mfa ehu mfa mene kase emani it shouldn't be swayed by ebia enkofo ebona basu sisi ase wayade de make what say
yes
ena eni kwa say woma asema the promise that he made say or you use 60 ministers no Kwame e hye no so too much money ya ade bia dachi ebe se hi ababa beto no adukwenti ameka sare se Kwame se President Mahama
Kessben
se me ilevy okase ontwamu a I will have a problem. LGBTQ so okase on sign here I wouldn't have any problem because I don't want the LGBTQ bill should be signed.
You don't want it?
Me, I don't want it. I don't want it for now. If the future you bet me I we haven't wrapped enough to do that. It is a 1 year I wouldn't have any problem. Though he has promised 60 ministers, but Sananado down Kufado, sorry, Sir President Mahama, and 75 to 80 ministers are Kwame. And say, Sano Nebama Ghana, the reset now over say, Yenyano Kwame. You do a love will be able to say, Yenina, yes, sire, kasi, yes, Papa, no, some more kind. A year Duma, Kwame Yenye. Jamaican what I say. A wall of my penico for promised lesser than what President Rawlings at the propaganda, ultimate propaganda because he ate back his words. The what? I'm on one by say, or apologize, say, no nim diana, said the necessity of Kwame. So, baby, you sue more than 60 ministers and up to 70 ministers. I don't think that Ghanaians will bash you too much since somebody used 105.
125.
125. If you don't go, we will only have a problem whereby you go beyond that 125. You get me? Because listen, there are some ministries need be Kwame, ya imagine ya. I don't feel comfortable with it.
I don't feel comfortable.
Where is information ministry?
Okay, Mame Mobo ministries. The 23 ministries, you know.
Yeah.
One, Ministry of Finance. They are two screens. So we are joining your Facebook.
Okay.
Ministry of Finance, Ministry of Health, Ministry of the Interior, Ministry of Defense, Ministry of Education, And these are critical sectors of the economy.
Yeah.
Ministry of Energy and Green Transition. And I love attachment to
green
energy.
transition.
Yes, green transition, because
Everybody
I know
is
that
doing it.
area sitting in echo. Now, over a year, I would say Ministry of Roads and Highways, and also Ministry of Transport, Ministry of Sports and Recreation, okay? Office of the Attorney General and Ministry of Justice, Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources, very critical. Ministry of Local Government, Chieftaincy and Religious Affairs.
Yeah.
And you be say one more at the Chieftaincy Ministry, no. First, nanke Ministry of Chieftaincy and Religious Affairs.
Yeah.
One more the local
I'll
government,
come
no.
there,
And no one. And note the changes. Now, Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Ministry of Communication, Digital Technology and Innovations. Okay? Ministry of Communication, Digital Technology and Innovations. And I feel about a year. Ministry of Environment, Science and Technology, Ministry of Youth Development and Empowerment. Okay. Then you come to Ministry of Works, Housing and Water Resources. Now I feel about Ministry of Gender, Children and Social Protection, Ministry of Tourism, Culture and Creative Art, Ministry of Labor, Jobs and Employment. Okay. So ministry is also very interesting to look out for. What's the first Ministry of Labor and Employment? Is it almost the Ministry of Labor, Jobs and Employment? Then you come to a year Ministry of Food and Agriculture, and Ministry of Fisheries and Aquaculture, Ministry of Trade and Agribusiness, Ministry of Trade, Agribusiness and Industry. Okay, and that is for the 23. Okay. Now, OSHA ministries are any honomonoa. Okay. Ministry of Sanitation and Water Resources, and one more at the Ababeka Works and Housing. Yes, Ministry of Public Enterprises, and Ministry of Railway Development, and Ababesha Transport Nimo, Ministry of Information, and BM. Okay, and no, now say all issues with that, you know. The so Ministry of National Security is no longer there. And the Ministry of Local Government, Decentralization and Rural Development, and also Neho. Okay, in Jubekaya, I don't know what's done with your ministry now. What fair so my edited your friend is saying regions now you criteria and 6 of them, some ministry you criteria. Then Ministry of Parliamentary Affairs. Okay, and also any day and the Hobium. And these are the 7. One more are taken out of the 30 ministries now. So these 7 ministries, has been dissolved by the president through an executive instrument.
Yes, fantastic. But Kwame, see, Ministry of Information. Kwame, now I would have wished to say at least say na yentimi manent na hwa. Sekia de ka ministry bi ho aka Kwame betimi abwa. Because Ministry of Information, see say we are scrapping this ministry. Now you be use the presidential press corps, presidential press secretary ni sanomano. Edia information about Bontia. Kwame, be some way you be ending up.
Say the same thing.
I say first panel presidential press secretary.
Yes.
And
the director of communication.
Director of communication at the office of the president. It's near obiti say Andrew Awuni enya bida kwabra Japan mama yariga. You get me? So what I'm saying is say no ne be rely on it. MY.
Okay.
MY fi say eno no yanhwe yi a na ekwakoye eno be be center presidency kwa. Eno no sometimes ana propaganda sa.
Okay.
So but the Ministry of Information is very, very key. Because I was just watching, what should the Ministry of Information, their core functions was to provide public relations support to the presidency and MDAs. Public in English and Ghanaian languages, gather, process local and foreign news and all that. And our agencies say, your Ministry of Affairs, Information Service Department, Graphic Communication Group, Ghana News Agency, Ghana Broadcasting Corporation, Ghanaian Times, the Ghana Publishing Company, and on and on and on. Then you watch the list of ministers afasa information ministry Mr. Kwaku Boateng Tawia Damafio Moro Igala Major Anthony Salome Colonel Ike Champo himself Major General Robert Kotei Kwame James name them Yaw Ousefrie John Nabila Madame Joyce Ayi Ura Kofi Totobi Kwachi Jacob Bechebelamte Nana Komia Daniel Kwaku Bote and Kwame Nabates Florence Bushai just name them. So you ask yourself that all these people since Nkrumah's time Yanya Ministry of Information to the military junta, they did not even scrap it. Amia Babera, the Fourth Republic. Say, yes, scrap the ministry no cry. It tells you that some of you do not be in an emphasis. Because ministries need you high scrap ya. Any day, ya media, it makes sense. You get me? It makes sense. So it means that when I was scrapping, it means that it makes sense. I don't feel comfortable with it.
With the information.
Yes, the information minister should be there.
Because Professor Mel Senate John Mahama in the last NDC government, it was communication and information. And now, information was not a standout ministry on its own. Okay. Under Edward Omanebuama, it was information and communication put together. So this time around, you see information everywhere. Could it be, say, I mean, the Omu Yeni Nano communication ministry, Nasi? I don't know, maybe say, Bia, the agencies here make it. The Kwakoshe, the communication ministry. Communication is so huge. You get me? Yes.
Ebiani the Kwakoshe. But almost information, a year on the bano, a information. Graphic communication in times, you come information. Jamaica, what I say?
Yes,
Kwame, a mere phone like I say, Nanado Dan Kwaku Sa deputy regional ministers now scrap him. On the second round. Some of them were working.
No be more
They were working under different address. Our the ministry.
Near your more technical advices.
Technical advices. And to call Ashanti regional Madame Gambra, former of Orukrom MC.
Yeah.
She was working under Simon Semensa, honorable as a technical director, but she was a deputy minister of regional because a bedroom maybe no Kwame, you will need them. And the one baby, also Sunaka, I would have wished there. I can President Mahama Bemeji. I was the sports and youth
and sports.
Yes, Kwame, because you're bida.
Okay.
President Kofo merged education, sports, and the youth. Because who say the education, more na kasa youth. About 90% of nipe school na say education youth.
Sports development youth.
Youth. You understand? Na odi ababeka say So na Kwame.
But I think say Oshe we now or say Ministry of Youth Development. I think say a new ministry which is, I mean, in my mind it has a priority be a ABO man paying na by person much. So Ministry of Youth Development and Empowerment.
Kwame,
we didn't have anything like that. Right?
Adequate America say Honesenko President Kofo Mahama Sahum Bion say if you inform a youth, if you resource a youth, if you polish a youth, if you educate a youth, Kwame is empowerment. It's a development. If you empower a youth development.
Exactly.
You understand? Adie bi abema youth na die say information, say polishing, resourcing, education. Kwame a development. So we could have stopped the empowerment thing and make it youth development. Near Kediabeka sports no.
I see.
Now be one ministry. Because President Kufuor be a the results. And then I call World Cup 2006. And then they youth employment by.
So as a Ministry of Sport and Recreation.
Yes, recreation.
What did I say?
That's fantastic.
Sport and recreation. Meaning say there's an emphasis on our sports and then I mean recreation, no, a lot of centers near the end be na me about.
And the recreation is related to youth.
Youth, exactly. But share a year Ministry of Youth Development and Empowerment. And also may have different scenario. I don't know.
America say minimum the development in Kwamba for because is too yidudo. As is too and you're well decorated and say a man of one ministry. But empowerment now baka one. And I'm say so we empower will be, we develop will be we inform will be, resource will be, we educate will be Kwame a development. And you bet me Ministry of youth and sports to say the be done. What President Kofa be because Kwame your youth policy, whether we like it or not, the youth policy start from 15 years to 35 years. And one more sports in him your sports retirement, sports and call retirement. By Ghana him say obianya 40 years plus no I week. Let's say all retire from sports. So by 35 years there, Dipanu was sports in him. 35 years and above for Dipanu was sports in him. It is a Kwame, you the beka one and kebeti mi abo. Ebia President Mahama has some way be to develop the youth of this country that I cannot tell. But
exactly my point. What I mean
youth no to man until you want to do special thing be
for the
youth in this
more entrepreneurs for the youth.
Yes, yeah. Adia ba Kwame bo papa ya ba so Kwame. President Mahama ya de. Eye me de pa. Eye Ministry of Chieftaincy. Aye de akoka local government.
Okay.
Some of us, we would have wished that the chieftaincy ministry can be scrappy. Because if you have National House of Chiefs, we sure almost functions now to, to cordiality, I don't know how
coordinate.
Coordinate. The president, one is that your National House of Chief President. And there is our son on the president. The Minister of Youth Affairs, Chieftaincy. And there is our son on the president. And then the Minister of Chieftaincy, Ebeya. House of Chiefs intimate. The difference is a few. You understand?
And the national president of the National House of Chiefs, it's more or less like the minister.
Yes, and he has even power than the minister. Yeah. Oh, eti se Kwame yesi ebe manatna. Adequate ya me den say. Otufo say to the second. Once opine that we should get Argentina before Kwesi Brody democracy beba no. Na ahemfo na a ruling this country. And sana ye babenya ye ko democratic rule ye de Kwesi Brody system eba. If you cannot relegate the chiefs, now say you create a war ministry for them, which it did not start President Kofo's time. Chieftaincy ministry has been with us since. You for the chieftaincy ministry called cabinet. You understand?
Okay.
So it tells you that one way or the other, President Mahama has hidden to that call.
So what it means is
that automatically
Obeka cabinet.
Okay. And I'm happy.
I'm happy. Ministries that are dissolving, no? Okay, railway development. I mean, your comment on that.
Kwame, it makes sense, Kwame.
Ministry of Public Enterprises.
Yes, Kwame.
Who the Ministry of Public Enterprises?
Public Enterprise. And Kufa returned to
and I mean,
public enterprise, yes. Then I saw him cover $16 million. Sanko for back committee.
But Ministry of National Security. And there's a free.
And you see another a year. Okay, or say you have Ministry of now Kwame.
Yes.
And can have you know. Now what you say, Kwame? Your ministry security coordinators.
Yes.
Our Minister of Security and then the vice. Now the Ashawan ye. And the coordinators are there. Just my make you. I don't know if I'm making sense.
Me too.
Your Ministry of
National Security.
National Security.
Our Ministry of the Interior. Our Defense.
Our Defense.
Okay.
SIO coordinators, security advisors. Blue Gate. That's a Kwame. I shall want to call Nukrom ye deportano. And that's a Kwame. What me sneaky ebe rat this country, Eko she Ghana ha 8 months. Bibi obe take revenge about bambu ye na sai kwaku ye. It is a ye the Ministry of security the front coordinators. It makes sense to me. They make what say. It makes sense to me. Now railway there na ye ka ho asem no.
Yes.
Kwame ye. It didn't die transport, but a honor na me per se, and President Mahama appointed 2 deputies in charge of
transport honor.
Yes, Kwame, you appointed 2 deputies in charge of railway, in charge of aviation. You understand? But yen create ministry no. Ye too kwaya near fa plane Kwame air transport.
Yeah.
Me ko Kumasi na me fa VIP air transport. Se me fa trainer Kwame air transport. By a person ye develop honti. And ye chiche ministries at the maomo. You understand? But if you can get a minister and his deputy, I'll bet me a money sir 3 ministries in now. Come and say.
Okay.
Jamaican what I say.
Yes,
sorry.
I do.
So as for that one there.
You agree with that?
Yeah, I agree with it.
Okay. But me no national security no ministry no. Okay. Now remember, I will say we are surrounded by a lot of African countries. Terrorist groups, you know. One more threatening so hard. Okay. For me, I would have wasted a ministry no better. Now you see, Kandapa made a very bold thing that yen said that ni Hong Kong. Before coming, we didn't have a blueprint of our national security. Anti-policy document na ye nibi. What you say? It is under Kandapa and we make sure say we develop a national security. Blueprint, architecture, a full document. A big govern that particular. National security. Your security status as a country, you know. So in my mind, I feel saying some ministry no ebe watching how then probably coordinators in the yateso.
Aye.
What you say? Yateso. But on the other hand, Obinsu baby say so internal security. Juma of the Ministry of Interior. Okay? Or NIB or Immigration Service no or police these are agencies are internally one making sure say security won some beto ye or customs corporate near the no okay CID department
and the borders
what you say all of them work under the Ministry of Interior. Then you have the externalities or Ministry of Defense. Woman so the armed forces, the army, and
control plan. Control plan.
So the question again is that coordinators. Why then will you need a ministry fully for national security? For me, I feel say I can get bad. At least for some 1 year, the incubate me at try.
Kwame, you say asma okani no crew. Meno enya scrapping na emidu. I would have wished say Kwame Quebec now. But a kwaya ye fast wa. Ye no maybe wa hasino. So a kwaya fast wa ma I shall want buy ya. Yeah, new beard.
And a national security boys now acquire more fast will conduct you or
aha, it's not
the national security now tata crofo. I near maybe are all in the name of national security.
But terrorism as some now Canada, Kenya national security at least and no crime will be a person or bibiano or watching to say Ghana. Upon everything, they still have a national security.
No, architecture need the no. I said there is a team a wohokra no. Kofi Boachemo Kamwa, they are supervising and monitoring national security affairs. One more coordinating in the president. But I am saying, say the details of it. Now we don't have a ministry. And what will happen is that ABA later on a coordinator and obey. Okay, so that team New York the coordinator no. Becomes the head of the team and then he's able to communicate with the president. There be an Oberman briefing or the man.
First is Abuaje Nesenka yesi nyano or
maybe stand common. But they say acquire one more fast with the national security no.
Money time.
I was so west to wagon. Edura and Senseme see yenina.
Ubia national security.
National security.
Ubisa party boy yeah
where national
security. Now Oma you friend said you
Gotano.
The Omo catch nam. Now when I catch you as national security, I saw catch you be me national security. I been akwabi koshi our church. Wakasasa. And I'm on national security. But on national security, you don't tell people that me a national security person. ATBB Baba information be bad per se catch you. Oh my goodness. So Kwame, that is that. Yeah. baby one na Ministry of Fisheries and Aquaculture. Yes,
I think I know you're relevant.
Yeah, relevant.
Relevant because o share a year a juma wo mo ye wo pone so afrafo no any pirate no kwan be fa so be chichi nam ne ade wo ha na. I mean when you dedicated ministry was so be
some of no more hard dressing a phone no abanase phone.
Yes.
They are very
but sometime back I heard say komode and no be kan Greek ministry ho.
I said na him say
Fisheries Commission ni ade nyina kwa share a Greek ministry na say. But I don't know why I want mama and no na year stand out a year ministry. But all the same we live to see. I mean ye share juma wo mo beba be ye and no na most important
because committee sa e poswa se be aye kan any the aquaculture no a ministry na ye pese bia mo na mo pese President Mahama etisuntia but Kwame nye easy sa o me say there are for no they are difficult people to deal with. So if you have a great policy bi pa na Kwame o pese wo ye na sa ankofo de omo do time aye ba be to abaye keka ko election time nobody pre-mixed fuel semne abomoto sem start so omo hawa. Now if you don't have a minister to deal with them solely or sorano pabia or per plansa to deal with them a betimiama sanity abaho ma pepepe abaho that's a ministry of agriculture e be a person group Kwame you have a problem I'm telling you so a year pass ye decouple the 2 years I'm enye yibiasa but Kwame yefa bi nka ho yefa
ministries ni bi nka
ho Kwame yefa bi nka ho ye betimi di bia keka ho
oh but 23 they ministries say okay
Kwame yefa bi nka I don't want situation afebo say ye bobo coordinators tieni you I don't want situation that you be having coordinators but those coordinators will be acting like a ministers. You understand? Now you hide the idea no idea or a minister but yes you a coordinator ni a pay DB diamano but we no or act as a minister. Now you kind of crunch it said there yeah the deputy the deputy regional minister say say technical advisors yes at least you was ultimately appointed 125 no. Se bro 125 no and Kwame Beka ho
record
Jamaica no watch say obi oti dwom Kwame ma before you omuti dwomi omo tetete ye fere say funfo ya e pese economy no revive the inflation ba form and I say gira ba bi ejina the exchange rate no e be strong ne sa no man they are not interested in the number of ministers. Jamaica no watch say all what people are interested and want to see and they say mine reset now all can a bit be aduma now this country will be enterprise and vibrant again and not the number of ministers media me so appointing say no bit me aboya it should not be swayed by his own words and the nkofo ka hallelujah and the heroine worship na nkofo you know you should not conform to that no show no man instance on man the conscious the subconscious classes consciousness no who say no I do we say I made the mistake we need this ministry yes I'm from rather so Kwame
okay me that say now my main fast 27 minutes after 9 my main fast that be Emma imbustable mixture na anope imbust for that roma pacho omo aboa ye papa immune system na you weak and a year can say no pacho ya rebia kawa na abo e de wato form anope just do the needful na ma won sanka imbustable mixture na ebeboa wo ye pa eno eye Ghana's #1 immune system booster e wodwa man so herbal shops no and afei pharmacies chemical shops ni nyina no eton bi adro no eye adro eye papa strengthen wo systems no ma etimi ekotia ya we bia anope ma wonsa entimi enka bi na wankasa obedi ho adanse open dudo mo atu a oni imbus for any enkobo on 0246208496 0246208496 na woni imbus any enkomo anope womo ebeje so pa lot of messages and amodiaba but ma yentio na wonso yenye wadwenche no what do you think should President Mahama go ahead and appoint more ministers rather than there were promises say obe appointing no and said there were merge a lot of the ministries 30 ministries were ye and soon 7 out of it we now have 23 but a year calculation now what it means is that ubenya 23 substantive ministers okay what the deputies crown so be kan ho a wo so be 23 23 na eno no akwa command a year 46. Okay, and Sana, we have 16 regions in Ghana. Obviously, ABR regions need to ministers. Na enono akoye say 16 and 16 plus a year 46. Na what you me the total number yeba ababenya na fi etimi abua. Now what shares in total okani nyina boma substantively you are talking about 62 ministers ebetimi aba take or leave it. I mean sa na be say bibia ekose de ekona or better still ebetimi aba say ebia ministries ni bi wo ho a wo mu mbenya deputy bia na afetimi aboa every day. But which ministry and ebeba so a one deputy? Mind you, some of the ministries in so hono they may get more than one deputy minister. A ministry like Ministry of Finance, likely say obetimi enya 2 deputies. Okay, probably Ministry of Trade, Agriculture, depending on how the focus will be. Okay, ebetimi enya be 2 deputies as well. To say the na danko ekufu at the time na etie no. And we live to see. Yes, you assign them to a specific tax. Even the energy ministry crown so ewo ho. Critical sectors no energy ministry no ewo ho. Lands and natural resources, we are faced with a lot of challenges. And you know, we live to see how ebe play out. But we are made to understand. So President Mahama said, and the forward Mako do na in term no na so afo ni nyina no ebeba appointment committee ni so start your majuma and we look forward to seeing that. We say good morning Dan Ewo KD or say boss but we have Ministry of Communication. Nana Frimpong didn't work separately. They didn't work separately as ministries when President Mahama was serving his first term. So I see no reason why Information Ministry must be a stand one. Okay, what do you know? Dan, thank you. We said, do you know that? Okay, minya o message no a year. Mami Enkai, we say stop talking too much. We are resetting our nation. Why? God bless you. Thank you. One for with the account. Good morning, Mr. Speaker. Please repeat the number of the travel and tour agent. Okay, thank you. But that's we say good morning, Mr. Speaker. Enin Udiwe Abba I say please, some people said free SHS is cancelled. But you try free SHS more why? No cresa. We say some of the WASI results were cancelled for no reason, especially mathematics. Please, we want to know that what is going on with Wayek in Ghana. Okay. I am Mufamudi and Kahu. I say I've been trying to get my visa for messages. Good morning, Mr. Speaker. I'm Sumaila. We are watching you live inside Draboso Health Insurance Office. Ghanaians trust John Mahama. That is why they voted for him massively to bring the changes he promised. We expect him to appoint 60 ministers and nothing more. God bless you and your team. This one says that, good morning, Mr. Speaker. Please, we need your help. Watching you live from Kumasi, Tafo, Anna, Wede Abba. We say, good morning, Mr. Speaker. I would like to have Zija's number, Morgan Edway at the Abba, Kumasi, Magazine, Macro, Anna, War. Thank you. Someone or say Mensa must call the IGP, Tanko, offense so now doing free at the Abba. Thank you. There's also something happening in Kumasi and the Ashanti region. Over the weekend, the Ashanti regional chairman of the NDC, Nana Kwesi, and then the secretary, Nana Kwesi, yes. Omo Echo, the regional coordinating council. Now, so many the national organizer of the New Patriotic Party, Eni and Komo Embra, Ora Henry and Abuachi lawyer. I don't pay council to make a margin. Avisia Panso.
Oh, yeah, I think commission home. Some can order than Ujumedi. I say, Yame, any of the year.
And I trade and pass. Now, quick one. And there might be Brenano NSCC under President Mahama. And a few days in office, na a sender fata say ye di ho enkomo. The edi kind a directive of Mampenyin Ashese IGP and Shishim Nipan Watribia was say 2020 and 2024. wɔn hwe wɔn nkwa abato afi a etwa mu no yɛnyɛ nhwehwɛmu mapa na afei nokora bi a ɛwɔ mu no mmra mmɛtɔ dwa ma mentio wɔ ɛno ho na afei yɛwie a yɛaba appointment a ɛkɔ so yi so
me nua medase lady kan mesmo ho kata ne bi na me ho kata no me yam hye me kaka
okay
ne tie ni obi a wayɛ mmara bi a na sɛ wɔnyɛ mmara kora na wonim sɛ murder case yɛ any expiry date wopɛ koraa ɛdi mfie sɛ sɛ kora bituma kɔpɛgya aba saa na criminal offense bi ateɛ nti 2020 na yɛto aba ɛna nnipa nso sɛ nwɔtwe ɛhwere ɔmo nkwa sɛ wohwɛ krataa no a His Excellency the President Dr. Callistus Muhammad Troya it creates a certain impression saying you decline as an investigation be a crown course.
Okay.
And untino or share IGP say onko investigation. And now who can let any meaning say mini our let any go anymore. O kind
me will be maybe in a makai kakra.
Na ya try to be the kind of o kind ya side cramp IGP a juma also ye. I said, a detective to IGP say, you were Jumani say, you say. For me, Martina meeting, IGP the first meeting, a meeting, our police headquarters. Not all political parties, so in fact, Sabrina, not NDT focus, you are by the champion, I can't send you a co-work, means okay.
Yes, I remember.
Yeah. You be hand you back no more today. And Timona or they tone safray. Or tone safray, you know, some meeting on my update on sa unfortunate cases are here 2020. The Kaipa, no, you have 50 quitted him.
Okay.
Case by case. Maybe a case in the CBA or fact no mama who update or fact no mama who update. Maybe a quack see prosecutions, but maybe a quack do investigations or maybe a quack do. So I ask myself, is it the case that Ira Dampari briefly president and now we're briefly president na president now a person or side is out. And they be is it the case that you are president of Frey IGP Dampare? Say, look, the person may shortcut I be say, Nasa, Asemi Kosi, is he at and say be an Rayan CEO.
Yes.
And will be a petition one as a one or cassette on investigation. Is he at a two friend will be sunny say. Asemokrasi Kwana, IGP Dampare Kwana. I'm saying a COP or Pombuno, and
yes,
and yes, Pombo never. Enti Pombo no action bed will take you home. And I also be IGP, I will that's IGP. Action bed will take you home. So much our report in we are. Then Nafi, Ghana for in art. Come here, Koso, but all her cat out now. Needy kind. Again, and the banner said, you are IGP Dampire briefly president. On what Ghana police aye afasa adwumadino Nidika number 2 and now he also say you are president in son to some free you are IGP say probably for me on your way because the letter no and cashy about but I know and as I said I have sat in that meeting IGP mass I briefly know on A to C. Because in that meeting, NDC will raise the issue, say, 2020, unfortunate killings in the sea, and also, what is the update? Now, we'll take the opportunity.
And
a brief hearing. It's me who let her know. And near my bum, and you send a near me. A mere Ankasano. I am disappointed in IGP Dampire.
To what extent? So I day.
hwɛ yɛba bɛto aba ɛna ɔfrɛ high profile meeting but ma media wɔ hɔ no the New Patriotic Party na yɛ me penny GFK ɛna Evans Mako and a representative party. On the NDC side, you were to be quite you are Blue Latte and Omanebuama and a representative NDC. All political parties were fully represented. And also what task force on the year chair. And Oma a year and penny for security institutions no community heads now be out. Obia so no ema assurance say me ye adwuma hwese security bibia be okay. Ni dikai. Sa disturbance is CAC 2020. Because the way you were IGP dampare. Or ye PR person pa because I had adwuma di odi no. PR room pa. PR room papa. The wo see PR person no. Me hu da, me nim de. But Mr. Speaker bet me correct me. Me hu a bear what take your opportunity to because sir killings a very very topical arameboa. In fact for
exactly for the NDC there anytime you make us no bosso. Yes.
Mbosso. It is our briefing no ye man yen ewo political parties we share here. Me hu say why am na to abonten aka kire mo da arameboa.
Debbie.
Exactly. Me can kwa me sure kwa say you are the foforo.
Exactly. Me Kwame say mo on your briefing that.
Exactly. It is any o see PR person pass ask me when to me can because na ya dia na NDC at any opportunity. Come on say in fact yeah sign it is packed no kwa no.
It was part of the reason.
Yes. It came out. But he never took the opportunity address Ghanaians on this issue, which I know see a Koshia or headquarters are what the home videos, at the home baby are court cases, baby are kwakusi investigation, baby are kwakudu, what the moon in our pahero. And check Ghana for. So now the impression is being created as though unye were you may because as an investigation we are all these years and by for Fraba, you are Mahaman Abe president, on air director say you were you may. Minister, can make out to my
Metuasia Council. Now, when you trapper now for him as an IGP, now,
oh, be an open in
I see.
Oh, be an open in
because so what kind of statement now, me baba to us, but what kind of statement now, terms of reference, or say, Mamin Kaya no kakra, or say, I have been instructed by His Excellency John Mahama to formally request your office to initiate immediate investigation into the tragic death of Ghanaian citizens during the 2020-2024 general elections. This incident, which occurred in various parts of the country, have left a lasting scar on our democratic process, and it is imperative that justice is served for the victims and their families. Also, to ensure investigations are comprehensive and transparent, and that is the underlying word, to ensure investigations are comprehensive and transparent, we respectfully propose the following. 1. Establish a dedicated investigative task force. 2. Collaboration with witnesses and families. 3. Review of electoral security arrangements on the days of election. 4. Use forensic evidence. The last one, no, or say collaboration with the Electoral Commission and other civic bodies. And what it means is that, yes, a big crime investigation there, you may have done it. But this time around, yes, will say your investigation for fraud. The yes, will say, you know, A, B, C, D. Baby, I actually will say your investigation, if I know. And when your person will yet differ. I mean, is this centered on a particular agenda? I will achieve now.
Well, Mr. Speaker, I would not know. But again, what I find unfortunate, and I make also words you use here to initiate.
Yes.
So if you are initiating something, you say I don't know any other.
Exactly.
But I mean, I will also say you have done something about brief here. And Usha Munyama Canonswa, I said, yes, shall say, and I said, yo, yes, I can't tell you, say, but we propose. I propose another one, yeah. Oh, and you know, yeah, Carter said, investigation, you say, now the fear is that they are even directing, they are even showing IGP how to do your work. Because IGP, so if you move here near there, I am very sure, say, or more forensic department or
yes.
You see, and for over years, I never come and say IGP or more Benina, BCBC or more champion the partner, how you see digitization to aid their work, forensics to aid their work. So now, if you are being say use forensics, and now your best I wouldn't forensics until they use my. That is why I make say me,
okay.
IGP, I'm also surprised why who briefly political parties now ultimate briefly Ghana for you now say baby akwakuduni. Ebiem because as meeting no Omaya no ba say ombema protection during, before, after. My disappointment in IGP, you see, was a Yera Muhammad there. By and chair. Ghana Bambu in a some day. Perfectly well. But you see, I want to address this issue. You see the institution, police service. Una was a task force. Una now we are chairman for the task force. Look at the mayhem post-elections in Yakoso. NDC taxes on Makwashi police were dry. Can you issue a table? Can you Yakoso Kufudia? Omako Yunko Fefi National Service Office, Omako Yunko Fefi National Identification Authority Office, Omako Yunko Fefi NHI Office. Yankran Yakoso, Nanomako Gapuha, Esiomako Ministries.
Told you now, come home.
Akoto. Where from this lawlessness? Where from all of this lawlessness? Where from all of this lawlessness?
But they tell you, say, where your retaliation of what your party people did in 2017.
Oh, sir, 2017. Your pope will be yes, sir. And go back now, okay? Me, I was on record to have said, so what about sir? But you know, party will not come to your aid. Mr. Speaker, Google and find out these stories. That time, Samuel spoke loudly against it. I spoke loudly against it. In fact, a Mukwana president, Kasetiana president, I said the Anti-Vigilantism Act.
Okay.
So that is the difference. But you, Mahama, now I'll call. I'm a dear for you, who say this, you know. And baby, what they be Kakabia Babesho, ya highlight no. I was expecting something now, at least because of a national issue. I created disturbances. Am I aiming, you know, at least by now, the president should be able to send your direct IGP on investigation. Come for Amra out through Dr. Kalisus Mama. The local say, because Sabi, be a civil service, not to the baby now, so in a Juma.
Quite unfortunate.
No, I question police station. And I had videos here who are table bomb to board the board. I mean, how? Police? That is why I make us say, yes, your supporters, sometimes, open to me, I am near my but young leaders, no. And I was saying to me, it's the end Monaca. Obian one movie in this leadership, our condemns are actually. Does it mean that I'm on a Shasiana? I'm going to encourage you on Koposo Munyatana. Just because Ghana, no question, a democracy, fair. NDC Bako, MPP Beba, MPP Beba, NDC Bako. Sanity. Hey, did I hear and Tokobi just become a consent to Kobi and see Ghana? And Tokobi and see
you better abano no bedin kunim ya to ba wie Yura Mahama wedding kunim. Ghana is now in your hands. Ghana for at the third 2 minutes answer.
Okay.
And the image I create to about to say Basana handing over. Mr. Speaker, it was a very beautiful ceremony.
Yes.
You agree?
I do. Agree.
It's taking the shine away from such ceremony. Look at the kind words Yura Mahama Ekafa, Yura Kufuado, and Yura Baumia. Boba Baumia Baso, the manner in which or consider Eli Emma ancient platform. Now we look at how I will see a car Yura and another one some a booming Yura parliament together. Now Omunim say we be a president. I'm a winner be hand you over to we now we hand over to we of any Johnny. You see, Sa Samo Emma Ghana boom. Ghana boom come. It say you really say BBC is not a cameo quest. I say at the fair now it's CNN or Independence Square. No, yeah, my way no more. I
take you over.
I take you over. It's not the best. Because now news said one on social media, that is what has taken over. Now will be a bit with the two, no more the office, no more where near the padlock. I mean, no. It's not fair at all. And idea airboa.
Very well.
To Mr. You are Mahama, if you want some more.
Very well.
You are IGP Dampare. For me, that is my disappointment. For me, the post security issues, the dear, you are IGP. One
hand on the year.
There be not at all.
Very well. Nana, Mami na wasi ano pay na yedimsa fi. I'm grateful. I'm grateful. And Henry Nana Buachi Nana B, lawyer, national organizer for the New Patriotic Party, and yenine de enko. But I my yena sports team no ase na yena wonso wase for making time with us. Mede de Kwame Appiah Kubi, my yemfa wonsi na yemfa se Joe and sports team no and to us. One more at the midfield action in no. Ede 2 hours. So dom yeni a ochina yeba yebeto aso na yeni wa ye ejuma abom. God bless you. Good morning and enjoy the rest of your day. We are out.